Okay, so with giving shots to any livestock, whether it's cattle or sheep, we want to stay out of the more valuable cuts of muscle. So always read the label. If it is an sub-Q injection, we would give that underneath the skin here in the neck region. And we would make sure to use that tinted technique where we pull up the skin and we slide our needle between the skin and the body there, making sure that we don't come out the other side. If it does require an intramuscular injection, some of the antibiotics and stuff will require an intramuscular injection. We want to make sure and give that in the neck muscle. We don't want to get it too high up here where this tendon is on the neck, or right in here where the spinal cord is, or too low down here where the esophagus is. So we call this the triangle region in here, and I always try to palpate this and make sure I can feel muscle before I actually stick the needle in there. So the triangle is right in here, like in here. So I'm away from the spinal cord here. I'm not too high up into this tendon here, and I'm not down here into the esophageal and jugular region. A tinted technique where I pull up here and I slide my needle in here. So for sub-Q injections, we would use shorter needles, 3/4 inch or maybe even 1/2 inch in sheep. For intramuscular injections in sheep, we'd probably want to use a 3/4 to 1 inch needle for an intramuscular injection. So earlier we didn't have a needle in our hand, and this one is a little bit long for sub-Q, but again, that tinted technique, we pull that skin up, we slide the needle in underneath it, and we give our injection. If we were going into the muscle, producers would stick that straight into the muscle, and again, that'd be the right size needle. You know, we talk a lot about following label directions and you know, drug residues and things like that. It's important to note that if label directions are followed with antibiotics, for example, and the only time we give antibiotics is if animals are truly sick with a bacterial infection, they're totally different than vaccines. But if we did have a sick animal, and it happens, maybe she got mastitis or an infection in her udder or something, and we would want to get some antibiotics into her, we follow the directions on those labels, and there's a withdrawal time. And if that label is followed, that drug residue is all but eliminated by natural metabolism. So there's, you know, you can measure minute residues, but the safety levels are completely safe, and those drugs have been metabolized many times over for what's safe in the animal. And so that's only with antibiotics. Again, vaccines are just a prevention for future disease, and we don't worry about residue or anything like that with most vaccines.